Hey everyone, Dan the Cardman back again. You may as well call me CJ from San Andreas because here we go again, right? Not long, maybe like what, 2-3 weeks after, as you can see by the video title, HGA have more issues that have come to light with fake cards being graded, which is incredibly disappointing. So if you haven't seen it yet, please check out Card Porn's post on Instagram. It's really detailed. I think they posted it 14 hours ago now, so it's quite aged, you'd say, for the hobby news. It's just really disappointing. They've come out and had the same issue. And I'm not sure right now if this is done post the fake cards that we mentioned in the previous video. And if it is, it's terrible. Like it's really bad. If it isn't, I think you can, again, give them a bit of grain of salt. It's still a learning opportunity for them. But yeah, it's really frustrating. So if I quickly change my camera, there we go. So this is the post in question, the post in question. Check it out if you can, because it might be a bit hard to read the text here on my screen. But basically, this is the Jordan card in question. This is the Hardaway card in question. I'll get to them in a second. One's very clearly a fake card. I'm not sure if they mentioned, crap. I'm not sure if they mentioned the Jordan is a fake card, or if it's just a fake auto. I don't remember off the top of my head right now, but basically there's some points here where they're talking about how they feel like it's a Groundhog Day, like I do as well. It's really frustrating. They talk about how they cut HGA some slack at the start, which I did as well, and I think a lot of people do because they're new to the process, right? I will say this, in my previous video, I did say that when you're a new starter, when you're a new entry to a market, there's things you need to make sure you get 100% right. And I said this last time, it was disappointing up front that they graded fake cards because they basically got out of their comfort zone. And I think that's a mistake that was completely avoidable. And they basically smashed straight first into it, and it looks like they've done it again, which again is really frustrating because what you'd expect to happen is you're a new business. You want to make sure you prove your name. You need to make sure you stay in your silo, you do your job, you focus on a specific subset of cards, and you make sure that the things you're doing are complete, they're accurate, and they're basically free from error or fraud, okay? And they've tried to get too big too quickly, I think, and it's left probably a sour taste in my mouth and a few others. I'm really hoping this is aged in comparison to the previous issues, like it's happened around the same time and it's not new. If it is new, it's even more disappointing. I'm sure there's a way for me to check, but I don't know how to do that off the top of my head. Maybe I can check the pop report. Probably should have done that before this, but like I said, that process is really annoying for me because these are mistakes they shouldn't have made, right? They should have just come in, been very focused with what they were trying to do and just stuck with that, right? But there's two things in question, like Card Porn have said, that have come to light again. One, I think it's fake Jordan signature on this card. It might even be a fake card, to be honest. Very likely a fake card. And then the Hardaway Precious Metal Gem card, that is very, very clearly a fake. So they talk into it how these cards were rejected by BGS and PSA because they were very clearly trying to, the person submitting them was very clearly trying to wash the cards. And by wash, we mean submit the card. It's like you do with when you're laundering money, right? Or not when you're laundering money, because you're probably not. I hope you're not. But when you're basically, that's what the term is, right? You take your cash to the casino, put it in the machine, go to the counter and get your clean cash, right? And this is what they're trying to do: get the card into the grading service, have it be authenticated, and then it's real, man. What do you mean it's fake? So it is very disappointing that they've made this mistake again. And like Cardport have said, it's their job to get this done right. Right. And it's not like it's hard to not do this. If they're not comfortable, they shouldn't have done it. Right. They should have stuck in their silo, stuck in their lane, like I said multiple times now, and you wouldn't have this situation. And like Card Porn have done, right, they've reached out to Upper Deck and questioned whether this card was accurate or not. And Upper Deck have said, we can't verify that. It's not in our database. And I think it's in one of the photos, right? So it's really disappointing. Card Porn go on to say that they've had dialogue with HGA and they've tried to keep things behind closed doors when they first started to try and help them not necessarily fall on their face when they've made these kinds of mistakes. But apparently they're not happy with the response they've received. Based on the photos that they posted in regards to that conversation, I'm not sure if that's a fair assessment to make, but I'll check that shortly with you. But just to step through each of them now, sorry if I lost my train of thought there, but if we go, I did it again. Oh my God. Sorry guys. So basically, you got the Michael Jordan card, fake auto, graded, authenticated. I'm not sure if they authenticate the signatures. I think they just give it a grading. So cut them some slack there, but still, like, why would you put your name on something you're not comfortable with, right? So we go to the next page. You see the Infinite Hardaway. And what they talk about here is it's trimmed. I'm not sure how they can tell it's trimmed. I might have to zoom in. It might be because it's a bit shorter. But then basically the color bleed there, I think it's try to fix the surface on the precious metal and then it's bled through, I think is what they're trying to say. Like maybe someone went through with like a highlighter or something and then it bled through the back. Oh, crap, I keep bumping everything. Sorry, guys. And then this is a photo without their giant text all over it. You can you clearly see like the order. It looks a bit strange, right? Like I'm not a huge Michael Jordan expert, but even just looking at it, it looks a bit strange. And like anything with, it doesn't matter. Like you might cut them some slack as a really obscure signature, but like, come on, when you see a Michael Jordan signature, like it's like the Holy Grail, right? So you think you'd be a bit more cautious with putting your, like you said, your name on there, right? So it's just disappointing. I'm very pissed off, to be honest. And this is basically card porn reaching out to someone from Upper Deck saying, like, this, we've seen this card. We can't find it in your database. Can you please confirm if it's a genuine signature? And they basically said, we're unable to confirm. All right, so that tells us that it's not real. Now, this is then going back through on eBay, checking the bleed. You can see that it's pretty obvious. I think this is conversation with the person that's listed it or the person that had it graded or the person that maybe posted it on Instagram. So this, I think, these guys trying to get in contact with the person who owns it. Some more dialogue here. I'm not sure which. I think, so this is where the start is, right? So they've reached out to Tyler, who's the CEO or the owner, I should say, of HGA, basically said, this is a BGS one, or maybe Tyler said, I always get confused with the order. And then Tyler's asked the question, may I ask the difference between ours and the BGS one, which I think is probably where the cardboard guys got, or girls, I'm not sure who they are, got pissed off with his response. And they've been slightly passive aggressive here, in my opinion, but I think it's fine. It's fair enough because it's a really shitty thing to experience and to have in the hobby, right? And they basically said it was that simple for us to reach out to them. What do you mean? Tyler's, I think, come out here and been like, well, why did you respond to me like that? Like, but I think it's a silly question in the first place, right? Like, you shouldn't be asking that question. What's the difference between ours and, like, who cares what BGS have done, right? So then I guess this is where they've gone on. What else is there in here? Let me quickly see. So my mic's in the way. And they've said this one's also fake. It's back with you guys. It's a known fake in the industry. Thumbs up. I'm not sure if there's anything else after that. So I'm really curious to see what HGA are going to come out and say after this, right? Because it's very clear that these two are fake. Like I said, they've probably painted HGA's response. Maybe there's other dialogue that's happened that we haven't seen that maybe speaks out a little bit more. But yeah, I'm a bit surprised when Tyler's come out and said that. Maybe he should have just been like, okay, similar to if you go check my video on PSA with this fake not the fake Charizard, the incorrectly graded Charizard card that had the wrong label attached to the slab. Nat's like, we're looking into this issue, we're fixing it, blah, blah, blah. And that's something that Tyler's done in the past. So it's really surprising that he's come out a bit nonchalant like this, not getting straight to the point. Like his response should have been, and now I'm probably contradicting what I said a minute earlier, but now that I'm thinking, his response should have been, well, okay, you're right. I wasn't aware of this. Let's sort our shit out. And they're going to have to sort their shit out because this might be the nail in their coffin, to be honest, because especially like if I said earlier, if these were graded post the other fake cards and the other issues they experienced, then we've got a big problem. If it's around the same time, we cut them a little bit of slack because they've mentioned they've put processes in place to make sure these things don't happen again. But I think regardless of whether it's post or pre, and moving forward, they need to put a statement out and say they're no longer grading these kinds of cards. They're no longer going to grade anything out before 2010, for example. And when it comes to signature authentication, if they have to go to a third party to get assistance with that, then they need to. If they're going to be getting those kinds of autos, obviously on-card autos that come from Panini and things like that, I think it's fine, but they need to step away from this. Don't touch these products anymore. And if they continue to do it, despite these issues, then do not buy those cards from these guys. And it hates me to say that because I really like the things they were trying to do up front when they first entered the hobby, but things like that are just really frustrating. So I'd stay away. Like if they're going to continue doing it, it's really shit. I'm really curious to see what they're going to do moving forward, like what their response is going to be. So I haven't checked to see if Tyler's come out and said anything. Let me just go back, just stare at my giant face for a second. Let me just quickly go to Tyler's page and see if he's come out and said anything. And no, he hasn't, which is, yeah, that's just really disappointing. Maybe they're going to put out a statement. Is there anything on their website? Tyler would usually post something, right? Give me one sec, guys. Sorry. I should have had all these prepared. Yeah, just for someone that is usually so aggressive, being on the front foot and giving responses. It's surprised we haven't seen anything yet. Let's see news. Is anything on here? It doesn't look like it. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I know I rambled a little bit, probably went on a bit of a rant, like just being a huge fan of what they were trying to do within the hobby and make things more efficient, implement technology, be a disruptor to the industry. It's just disappointing. So I'm just going to wait and see what they come out and say, what their response is going to be. Like I've said in the previous video, and I said in the PSA video, management's response to these things is like integral to their integrity, right? To how they should be perceived within the market. And the fact that they've been somewhat nonchalant, and it may or may not be a new issue, and they've probably stayed outside of their comfort zone, is really concerning. And depending on how they respond beyond this is going to be very key. Like management's response is everything. Like I'm an external auditor. I've said this a few times. You look at controls, you look at issues. It doesn't matter that those things are there because things happen, right? It comes down to how you react, how you respond, and yeah, that's going to be key. So let's wait to see what they say. Wait to see what the news is. The fallout of this is in the coming days. But just play by ear for the time being. Just don't buy any of these older cards from HGA. I think if you like their slabs, still go with them. I like their slabs. I like their coloring. I think their grades are pretty fair from what I've seen so far. I'll probably use them again for some select Euro cards I want to send off because I've a really good idea for a custom label. But beyond that, it's put a sour taste in my mouth, right? It's left a sour taste in my mouth. So we have to just wait and see what's going to happen moving forward. This video is really long, so I do apologize, but I went on a bit of a rant. I hope it made sense. I hope you liked the video. If you didn't, please let me know what things I can try and improve on moving forward. It helps me learn, helps me grow. So really keen to get some interaction with you guys. So yeah, thank you. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.